Oh, God. I am resident of Collinwood for YouTube. Joel Sades here with my buddy Patrick McCray, author of the Dark Shadows Daybook Unbound. And we're here to discuss episode 1216. John Carlin narrates this episode to perfection. I really love when he does a voiceover.
Yes.
Because he reads it so slowly and lowly, but it's so methodical.
He wants to make sure everyone knows he's not Willie Loomis.
Yeah.
It's like, here is my cultured voice. I'm John Carlin. Yeah, it's great. And yet still some of his vowels are a little weird. And it's like you keep dropping your R's. John, it's okay. It's okay. I know you got a high game in Jersey tonight.
Yeah, he's supposed to be playing a character from Boston, and he sounds very Boston-ish, if you will. He's not speaking as a Willie Loomis or a Collins. And Kendrick Young. His sister Stella got murdered, and he found her body.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Not her. Yeah, her. That happened a couple episodes ago, way back when. But here, by the time we get to this episode, he and Melanie are very much falling for each other, and they have another kiss. This is not their first kiss in this series here, this arc. But I actually love the kissing scenes between.
Dare I say it? They're sitting in a tree.
What's that?
I said they are. Dare I say it? Sitting in a tree. Kissing.
Yes. I love the kissing.
First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the tragedy.
I love the kissing scenes between Nancy Barrett and John Carlin. What did you think of them, Patrick?
I've never had kissing scenes with either one of them. I would prefer Nancy Barrett because she's alive. But I'm not gonna be livist or something. I mean, if the dead body of John Carlin is put before me and I have to kiss it for some reason that the director can dramatically judge. Oh, you're between them. I thought it was good. It was nice to see a normal romance between a lunatic woman and an embittered bereaved brother.
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's not right, because it's not the only relationship going on in this arc, and that's something Dark Shadows has continued too, with multiple relationships, because you have Catherine and Morgan, you have Bramwell who's still wanting to be with Catherine, and now with this episode, there's no Bramwell in this episode, there's no Morgan in this episode, but you do get David Selby in this episode, Quentin. And you get, again, I love Carrie Stokes Carrie in this episode, Carrie Stokes in this episode, because she's a medium, and Quentin asked her to figure out who was James Forsythe. And it's funny, what was Matthew Morgan's cottage, they're calling the Gatehouse in this arc.
Sure.
Which I think that's the one thing I find most strange.
Because it's parallel times. They just moved it.
Yeah. The only other time I hear the word Gatehouse actually is the next time I hear it is the 04 unaired pilot, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, I hear it when I'm being, threatened by some count or something after I've leapt out of a bedroom window, but with my pants falling after me, and I hear "Go to the Gatehouse." Yeah, that's when I hear it. But on the show, I don't know if I've ever heard it. Did you hear it on the 04 pilot?
Yeah, in the 04 pilot, unaired pilot, Willie Loomis and the girl he's sleeping with are living in the Gatehouse.
So Jason McGuire.
Yeah.
So I guess it's suggesting that because he's Irish. I don't know. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I think Kathy Cody, is she a medium? I mean, she's not a size 0, but I think she's smaller than that. But all seriousness aside, this is her acting has improved so much since are you? Who are you? When she first appears as her primary time character, I was very impressed by her acting. And so it's either experience, she's gotten better from doing more of it, and that'll happen. Or, there's this thing, if you are going to act, try and act with somebody better than you are, because it makes you better. It brings out something better. And Selby's great in his scene with her, and Selby's very good in his scene with John Carlin, even though he has one of the longest and most interesting teleprompter moments I've ever seen, where he's talking to her and he just goes, "Now, as I was saying, Kendrick, it's great. It's great. I felt for him. It's like, David, not everybody. It's like we all have those moments. Prompter.
Oh my God.
I read everyone's lines.
Yeah.
Beans tonight.
Yeah, David Selby's character gets followed by Kendrick Young as he's walking to the gatehouse, and Melanie says to him, "There's somebody out there following you," and he's, because he tells him, he tells her, "I've come alone," and when he opens the door, he goes, "You're right. There was somebody out there, but they're not there now," and that's when he does ask her to find out who James Forsythe was, and she gets a brief glimpse of somebody coming to call her that it's James Forsythe with with a woman who he's in love with, but the woman's married to somebody, and you don't hear who the somebody is. So you're slowly starting to unravel some secrets, but not anything big. And I love what the writers do here. It's very, very clever.
It is. It is. I'm with you. It's almost as clever as trying to turn off your screensaver. Anyway, start screensaver when inactive. That's all I ever am. Pardon me, Jewel, because you keep vanishing. Let's see. When inactive for never. Screensaver's never going to come on. I'm back. You kept vanishing into a sea of purple. It was majestic in many ways. Yeah, there's so the episode keeps having people walking out from the dark because Harry gets the psychic call, and the Uber's there or whatever, and she goes to open the door, and it's David Selby, and then David Selby's wandering around. There's somebody there, and it's John Carlin, and then later, I think Grayson Hall does it to Kendrick and Melanie. She kind of comes out of the dark. It's a big episode for that. Whereas Grayson's kind of on edge because it's like she found out that they have 29 episodes left, and then it's like, Sam, we have to get real jobs. Jesus, I'm sure it was tense.
Yeah. I think it worked out pretty well for Sam Hall because he kept writing, right? I mean, so
he kept acting, he kept writing. Never as much. I don't think he ever had as much fun.
Right. With this episode, Julia, I love how Julia is slowly becoming more of Melanie's sort of overseer. Like it didn't feel that way at the beginning of this arc, but slowly through this arc, you're sort of seeing Julia follow Melanie around, and I won't reveal why because that's going to get revealed later on in later episodes. But I like how the writers keep doing it because it's a very it's a story log thing. It's like we have to have this happen because we're revealing this later on, and I love that.
And the cable is out.
Yes.
So she doesn't have cable to watch. So I guess I'll watch Melanie wander around. Maybe. Oh, good. It's a love scene. Great.
I might have to squint my eyes. Melanie is very small.
Can we get a bigger screen?
Yeah, right. Right.
I don't dance. This is it. This is the show. I don't dance.
Oh my god. Here's the thing too. They talk about Justin Collins, how they have to hold the lottery. Actually, Gabriel makes an appearance in this episode too.
Looking real crazy, holding the knife wrong. He's clearly not a trained combatant. I'm surprised he's not holding it with the blade towards his own head. Why is my hand bleeding? It's the curse.
Yeah, he handled being a killer a lot better in 1970 parallel time than he did this.
Because he
But
had a sword cane that kept falling apart.
yeah,
That was more reliable than the prop knife that he's got turned all around. And yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't have an electric razor. It's the best I could do. It's not Sweeney Todd. I'll kill you. It's just going to take several years burrowing in.
Well, here's a question. Back then, did they have like fake scissors they could use?
Back when they did the show?
Yeah.
Fake scissors. I don't know, because a knife is collapsible.
Right.
It goes. I'm not going to demonstrate that, but it goes into a handle. Right. But scissors don't really have a handle to go into.
Right.
So I mean, dull scissors.
Yeah.
Yeah, but fake scissors. I don't know. I know that they had combat whisks. That they used, fake combat whisks, where the whisk would go into the handle if there was like a French cooking scene and someone was attacking someone. Like, oh my God, I've been stabbed with a. Oh, you got the ping. It just came out. I don't know if they. I mean, like combat spatulas or tactical diapers or something.
My point is, the knife sort of does look. You can tell it's fake, right? And that's the point of it.
It's not the fakeness. It's the fact that he has the blade pointed in the wrong direction. I think he has like the dull end facing down.
He does.
I want to threaten you safely.
I'm threatening your life in the most safest way possible today.
Sure. As opposed to at the Safeway over the last can of Manwich, which I've gotten into some real knockdown dragouts over that, especially when they still had Mexican style.
Yeah, well, here in this house, we opened the last packet of taco seasoning, which my wife went ballistic. Anyway,
that was the original filming title of the Omega Man.
Really?
Last packet of taco seasoning on Earth.
Oh, but with you have a moment where Gabriel comes in and he's threatening Kendrick, you're gonna die here just like your sister did. And it's the first time that he does hear that his sister died in the house from Gabriel. And Gabriel
does in a great mood.
Right. And he does end up stabbing Kendrick in the shoulder, doesn't kill him, it only wounds him.
Yeah.
Really cool scene. I mean, really cool struggle for the knife. I love the choreography by John and Christopher. They did a really good job being dancing partners during the process. What did you think?
Which one was leading?
I want to say John at first.
It's when the rose transferred between the mouths that the other one started leading.
Right.
The Tango of Terror tonight in Collinwood. I thought the fight scene was fine. I liked it. It's not as my favorite bad fight scene on Dark Shadows, because I'll tell you what, Selby and Pennock always had a good throwdown. They knew what they were doing. Those guys. All those boys are fighting again. But it's my all-time favorite is in I think it's 1198. It's the last episode of 1840 with Lamar and Barnabas, and it's such a terrible fight. It's almost like they're going to get into a slap fight at one point. But the thing I loved about it, because for me it's all text. Every blooper, everything is not a blooper. It's happening in the universe.
Yeah.
And so the fact that it is such a sort of half-hearted, incompetent fight, where Brummel gets stabbed and all of that, or Barnabas gets stabbed. It's wonderful because these are two men who don't know how to fight.
Yeah.
And yet, it's what they have to do, So yeah, it's exactly the sort of fight scene I would wind up in. Where I'd be dodging blows while on my cell phone saying, "Butch, get over here."
Well, that's the thing too. To your point,
I got a pizza coming out of the oven. I can't make it.
That's the thing too. To your point, Barnabas has never had to fight. He's had those vampiric powers the whole time. That whole time he's never really been in a fist fight. Probably in his life.
They hire people to do that. No, they hire people to have fights. Send in rigs. Let me know how it goes. Serve me another flip, please.
But really cool fight scene. I love the fact that how Melanie stands up to Julia in this episode. She goes, "No, I won't go in unless Kendrick can come in with me." And she's like, "What?" And she gives in. But before that, Julia tries to convince Kendrick to leave. She goes, "I'll buy you, I'll give you whatever you want." And he's like,
"I'll go."
And he goes, "Everyone's got a price, right?" And he's like, "Not me. I no." And I love it. It's a really cool. You have a lot of great character building right before your eyes.
Melanie and Kendrick are a cereal of moral fiber that stays crisp in the milk of Julia's attempt of intimidation.
Yeah.
And I'm just there to be the spoon. I'm just there to be the spoon.
It's really good. I mean, and then after Kendrick gets before that, after Kendrick gets stabbed, they find him. He's fine, but they still have to go back into the room. That's something that gets talked about in this episode too, that they have to hold the lottery again. And Quentin says he wishes he could just find Gabriel. He'd force him to stay in the room this time. It's all Gabriel's fault that they're in this predicament because Gabriel didn't stay in the room long enough. He bribed.
I feel like someone's going to say, we have to have the lottery again. And someone's going to say, okay, really, is this like another 29 episodes of the lottery? Don't they have another storyline? Anything? I mean, maybe David shows up looking for his, Sky is Falling poster for primary time, or just like somebody loses their car keys and they have to go look for that. It's sort of like, if I were a viewer, if I liked the lottery, then great. But if I didn't, I just like. So Dan, this is it. You're just riding this one out. You got 29 more episodes. You're just riding that train high on, whatever, golf.
Yeah, and he is too. I mean, you're right. He's very much riding the lottery train in this storyline because they keep finding reasons to have to go back into the room. And basically what it's all setting up for is the final episode where Bramwell and Catherine get locked into the room and make it, right? That's the whole point of keeping the use the room.
Well, they make it when they're locked up in the room. But yes, of course. And I have a lot to say to that when we get to that point.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think if there's anything we missed. I don't think there is. Is there anything you want to add?
I'll tell you what, I miss O'Grady's, which were these really big potato chips.
Right.
I miss big food. They had big Oreos in 1987. They were that big. I miss those things. No, 1841 parallel time somehow manages to stay entertaining with not as few story points as during the dark days of the pen, but not a lot of story points. You know, I mean, they kind of like we need let's have John Carlin show up, and he's upset about his sister. And what do you do, Kathy Cody? Can you be psychic for a while? Let's write in some psychic stuff. And I love how she is the most legitimate psychic I've ever seen, because you know most of these psychics in real life or even on TV are always sort of like, oh, or the devil. You know, the devil also does this all the time on game shows or whatever. You know, well, I could demonstrate my powers for you, but it would be vulgar. When anyone says, "Oh, you're a psychic," prove it. And she's just proving it right and left. Yeah. She's like, someone's at the door. You know, Governor Breck is in trouble. And so she's always like, Quentin says, you know, here you can do things other people can't do if you really concentrate hard. And she says, yes, let me demonstrate. She's down for it. What a nice, polite psychic. She's not playing games. She's like psychic.
I like how when Thayer David comes in the later episodes as her dad, Ben Stokes, and he's not too happy that he's using his daughter.
No, I don't think he's happy they're using his daughter.
Which makes sense.
Yes, I mean, it would be weird if he felt the other way. No, go ahead. God, what a monster. Right. Get out of here. Bring in Louis Edmonds again. He was a decent dad, sort of, depending on, you know, but eventually.
Yeah, I mean, the kid only removed his bleeder valve from his car. It's okay.
Oh, kids! Tell me what is wrong with these kids today.
A lot, apparently. Anyway.
I'm not a father, you know, that I know of.
That you know, see that word that you know of. See,
I've known there's no.
I'll tell you what I miss most from a food aspect is when Sam's Club used to give out bigger cookies.
I gotta hear about this. Okay. Yes,
Sam's Club does still do cookies at their little diner kitchen thing that they have inside the store that you can get. By the way, they have really great. By the way, they have great pizza and great pretzels.
Patisserie.
But
okay, have you had the Costco pizza?
No.
Well, there'll be a duel anyway. So Sam's Club pizza, patisserie.
But they used to bake these really nice sized cookies, okay? And now they only bake the smaller cookies. So I wish they would bring back baking the bigger cookies.
The big cookies.
Yeah, the bigger cookies.
But the tinier ones, they're more poisonous, like scorpions.
Yes. I'm sure that's how they're plotting getting rid of some employees. Oh my
Sam God. Walton, the old cookie devil. They shrunk our cookies. We can't have anything now. First, it's not open 24 hours. Then there's nobody in the Walker Springs, Knoxville, Tennessee Walmart athletics department to unlock the knife area so that you can, you know, just buy a buck knife or something, which costs more than $1. And you call for a manager at the Walker Springs Walmart in Knoxville, Tennessee, and you ring the bell, and employees come by and say, I don't know if anybody's going to show up. Yes, I am calling you out, Walker Springs Walmart in Knoxville, Tennessee. Okay? It's like they don't even care about making a profit. 1841 parallel time.
Yeah. It cares about making a profit still today.
Not from me.
No, not from me.
Not from this old New Orleans drunk. Jeez Louise. And me and John Larroquette just wandering around sad and nightless. Walker Springs Walmart, Knoxville, Tennessee. I said it. This was my experience.
Oh wow!
Can you prove it didn't happen?
I'll give you a good Walmart to go to, and I've never had a bad experience with them. Connorsville Walmart. If you
At this
ever
point, it's
come
probably worth the drive.
Connorsville Walmart, which is a smaller Walmart here in our city, and Uniontown Walmart is pretty good too. I've never had trouble with Mount Pleasant Walmart either. I just don't like the size of either, because Mount Pleasant and Uniontown are big Walmarts.
Are they too big?
They're not too big, but they're bigger Walmarts than
or you're about the other one.
Connorsville Walmart
is
like Connorsville is more of a smaller Walmart because it's built for small. It's built that way, but Uniontown is big. Uniontown Walmart. What's that?
Which one is girthier?
I would say Uniontown's. It's
okay.
Huge. It's huge.
Okay.
Like Mount Pleasant's is big,
okay.
But the only reason I'd say Mount Pleasant looks a little bigger on the outside is because it's part of a there's other stores that are like down like right on the same thing as it.
Like Remora feeding on the side of a shark.
Yeah. 18.
Hey, I had an idea. Let's talk about Excalibur sometime.
The movie or the sword?
Yeah, the movie. We can talk about the sword if you want. It's sharp. Lives in a stone or under the water.
I haven't seen it in a while. Where can I watch this at?
I got the head. I don't know. We'll work something out. I'll put on a thing of like aluminum foil on my head, and then I'll be safe from COVID also. Trump. Take bleach. Inject yourselves with bleach.
Oh my God. Politicians. Oh my God.
Right.
This is exactly why there's a 33 1/3% chance I will be voting this year.
I'm glad.
Okay. But that's Scott Steiner math, by the way.
That's how I got through high school.
Right. Oh,
in 5 years. What?
No, but where is there a streaming service that has Excalibur?
I'll find one. Damn it! I'll find one.
Okay. Well, let me know, and and I'll watch it because I haven't seen it in years. It used to be. That's the thing. That's another movie that used to be on TV like twice or 3 times a year, but now nowhere.
Exactly. Or I can watch it and describe it to you as I'm seeing it, and then maybe that'll count.
I appreciate that, brother. I do. I appreciate it. But I like to watch my movies just as much as you do.
I don't know, Joel. I don't like to watch many movies. I walk out of most of the new ones. It's true. I go see movies with a friend. I'll bring a Kindle, and I'll say, "What are you bringing the Kindle for?" I say, "For when I'll walk out." It's like Otis the drunk having the keys on the cell. Just lets himself. That's what my emergency pay. Yeah, I was a surgeon who got called in all of a sudden to get myself out of Pet Cemetery after 10 minutes. My all-time record for walking out of a movie was Alien Covenant, where I walked out during the trailers.
Oh, wow.
I did, because I thought any movie that the studio thinks the audience would like the movies advertised in the trailers, I said, I just like, I hell with it. I don't care if Danny McBride's in it. I'm out of here.
Yeah. See, now movie theaters are guilty of this, showing too many, just the studio, like too many trailers. And I'll tell you one that I didn't walk out on, but because I've never walked out on a movie, even if it is bad, I'll sit through it. Fuck it. My brother walked out when not Alien Covenant, but Alien Prometheus, the one before that.
Yeah.
My brother went to go see that, and I went to go see it with him. And they showed all these trailers, and
Yeah.
he said, "I'm getting the." He didn't even say nothing. He just got up, walked out. I didn't see him come back. I just sat there.
The same thing I did. Tell brother, I did the same thing with Alien Covenant. I got to meet this guy. Tell him he missed out on 2.5 of the best hours of sleep that he could have gotten. I slept like a baby in Prometheus. Oh man, this film brought to you by Tempur-Pedic.
Yeah, it was years ago, but it's really crazy how I know that's not the only movie that's happened into where there's just been a bunch of trailers. Like there's like when we went to go see the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre in I think it was 02 or 03, I forget. But there was a ton of trailers. It's like, why do you have this many trailers playing? Like, I'm a very patient person, so I don't really complain. But when you have people who are around you who are complaining,
that's me. Okay, so I gotta go. But my best sleeping in movies experience was Batman versus Superman. It was either that or Justice League. I know it was one of those dreary Zack Snyder things. And my narcolepsy was really bad, and my sleep apnea was really bad. So I was there with my friend Benji. Thank God he's a solid Army Ranger, and this guy doesn't get ruffled by anything. And I nodded off, and I woke up. And I noticed that the seats that were next to me were empty all of a sudden. And so, 30 seconds later, I nodded off again, and I woke up and the seats in front of me and behind me were empty. And I said, Benji, am I snoring? He said, yeah. I said, good. I went back to sleep. Eventually, there was just this donut of empty seats that was spreading. And by this point, we were a good, 12 minutes into the movie. And I said, Benji, I just can't keep doing it to these people. I just got up and left. That was one of my first walking out experiences. But things like Movie Pass and the Regal Pass and all of that, where I pay $18 a month and I see unlimited movies, I have no compunction about walking out of movies. I feel, well, I already paid for it. And, it's some movies I say are worth the price of admission.
Yes.
Worth the price of getting out. My best, my crankiest, I'll top it, was Avengers Endgame, which I still have not seen the end of. It's like, it's 90 minutes. I'm done having fun. When they were running around basically remaking the first few movies, at one point I said, oh, come on, you guys are just making it up out loud. I said this out loud on opening night. And I had to realize it's all made up. But it was time to go. It was time to go. And it's time to go now.
You know what is worth it? The Dark Shadows Daybook Unbound, which will be in the description box where you can go get it. Patrick, buddy, you have a great night.
You too, my friend. Bye.